Hi everyone, this is Abel, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a list of 5 techno-thriller I'm going to read during 2024. But before we start, remember that if you enjoy science fiction and fantasy books, especially epic fantasy and space opera, but other subgenres too, as you'll see today, this is the perfect place for you. So consider subscribing, leave a like, share this video. Thank you. So, even though I'm mainly focused on epic fantasy and space opera, sometimes I need something different, a palette cleanser you may say, which can be sometimes I read those trashy 2012 young adult dystopians or some kind of young adult epic fantasy, or they can be something a little bit easier in a way but still challenging. You'll see why. And I'm trying to read more techno-thrillers. During my teenage years, many years ago, I've read quite a few of those, especially from Tom Clancy and Michael Crichton, which are the most famous authors in those genre. By the way, if you don't know what techno-thrillers are, the name is pretty self-explanatory. They're both science fiction and mystery thrillers too. And depending on the author and depending on the specific book, they can lean more on the spy thriller side of the story, or even on the militaristic side of the story, like Tom Clancy, for example, or on the hard sci-fi speculative side of those stories, like Michael Crichton did. So it is a subgenre, it is kind of a niche subgenre, but it can have a pretty broad scope. The common denominator, the common content of this kind of story is that it is very funny the way Wikipedia described those, because they tend to have a disproportionate amount of information about the gist of the story. Many techno-thriller, they gravitate around a specific idea. Like for example, in Timeline by Michael Crichton, it is about time travel, of course. It is about a group of people that comes back to the medieval times. But around 30% of the book, so a huge chunk of the book, it is spent describing the technology that allows that group of people to travel back in time. It is very long, it is very dry out, very annoying. But if you're a researcher of a science guy, a science buff, you'll love that, because it is very well done and very believable. And then with a snap of a finger, the book turns in an adventure, a very fast-paced thriller that it is completely different from the first side. So being him a staple of that kind of narration, many other authors that tackled in this genre, they tend to follow that kind of foil, so with a very deep description of the technological side, and then they go with the story to make it believable. And by the way, not every one of them, especially the contemporary authors that tackle that kind of story, lean that hard on the technological description. For example, if you read Dark Matter from Blake Crouch, it is not that heavy on the technological side. It gives you just what you need to understand the inner workings of the technology behind the idea. In the case of Dark Matter, is about multiverses, parallel dimensions. It is not that heavy like Michael Crichton. So, as I told you, the genre is a niche, but it has a lot of broad scopes. It can be very different depending by authors. So I have a list of techno-thrillers that I want to try. The list is pretty long, but today I'm focusing only on 4 books I intended to read during 2024, which was which are part of series. So if I love the first one, I'll have even more series to keep up during this year and the rest of my life. And then I'll talk to you about what I am actually listening on Audible, because one of those series I've already started. Okay, let's go. The first book on my list is the Extinction Code, which is the first book in a series that it's called the Extinction series by James D. Prescott. This is about a exploration of a site when the main protagonist, we should have multi POVs in this book, but one of those POVs, he thinks he has finally found the place when the asteroid that destroyed dinosaurs and completely changed life on Earth, it impacted. And when he discovered that place, the thriller part of the story starts, because of course you can imagine how incredible that kind of a discovery will be, and the lasting consequences it will have on our today's, on modern science. Because of course discovering that site and discovering what it is actually inside the place is the gist of the story. So the main source of the thriller side of the story and the scientific point is to try and to understand what happened and what it is actually today going on that place. And then we have another point of view by a genetist called Mia Ward. It is about a research about human genome, and the covers tells you right away that it is all going to involve that kind of research. So this is the kind of book that, like many other techno-thrillers, the more you try to document yourself before you start to read it, the less you're going to enjoy it, because many of those books are very plot twist heavy. So I gave you just what the Amazon description give you. I think we don't need more anything more of that, but it sounds really intriguing for me, so I'm definitely going to give it a try during 2024. The second book in this list is the Aurora Project, which is subtitled "We Were Not the First." And like any other 40-something guy, I am so fascinated by pre-human, by the idea that could have been pre-human civilization. I want to believe it because it's such a fascinating concept, that it is that fascinating for me that, by the way, the books I'm going to publish in 2024 for my fantasy series, it's about that. But I'm not going to tell you more. So the synopsis about this is, it says this: global warming has melted the ice, revealing an ancient secret that could determine the future of humanity. Two researchers risk their lives to uncover the truth about our ancient ancestors. Join them on a perilous journey from Greenland to Dallas to Antarctica in the race against time to save the world from the sons of the Nephilims. Yeah. Yeah, we live in this cultural zeitgeist when that kind of idea, that search for the origins of humankind and life on Earth in general, they're so fascinating for us that it pulls on some strings that are so deeply buried inside ourselves that it will never stop. It will never be not interesting for us. So let's try to see what this book has in store for us. This is from Paul McGowan, and I will for sure try to read it during 2024. Another book I have in this list is titled The Fifth Kind, Arrival, and it is the first book in a series called Dark Nova series by James D. Prescott. I'm going to read you just the first two paragraphs in the description because they're so funny and so entertaining and so catchy that I don't think you need more than those two paragraphs to be interested in reading this book. Listen to this. a secret too terrible to keep and too dangerous to reveal. In the depths of an ancient Egyptian tomb, archaeologists make a baffling discovery: the mummified body of a man clad in a spacesuit. Yeah, do you need more? Just a little bit more. Halfway around the globe, exobiologist Dr. Catherine Shepard and intelligence officer Colonel Devon Peters are summoned to the site of a downed UFO. To their amazement, they find one of the occupants alive. Even more shocking, he appears to be human. Yes, I am sold. Give me that. Give me the whole trilogy. I'll read it during 2024. Absolutely. Another one I have on my list takes more of a post-apocalyptic twist on the technological thriller formula, and it is called The Light We Lost. It is the first book on a series called Lost Like, and it both have post-apocalyptic moods and atmospheres, but kind of a murder mystery too. The description says, a catastrophic solar flare strikes Earth, plunging half of the planet into darkness. Amid the chaos, Shiloh Easton awakens to a nightmare, a dead body beside her, her brother missing, and no recollection of what happened. As she desperately searches for her brother, a killer is hot on her trail, determined to silence the only witness to the brutal crime. Yeah, I like the fact that we have both a post-apocalyptic setting and both a cat and mouse dynamic and a little bit of a murder mystery too. So this is absolutely one that is on my radar, and I will try to read it during 2024. And finally, the book that I'm listening right now by A.G. Riddle, which is an author that has become hugely popular in this kind of subgenre of science fiction and thrillers, our beloved techno-thrillers. I'm reading Winter World, which is not his first book. He became famous with the Atlantis trilogy, which I have in hardback. You can see those down there. I'm trying to collect all of those books because we had 9 out of 12 books that he has published in Italian. But this trilogy I'm listening on Audible. And this is about a recent ice age. It says that humanity is on the brink of collapse because the temperatures are falling down so deeply and so fast. So scientists decide to send more probes out in space. They're trying to focus on the trying to reach help maybe, or find new inhabitable planets, trying to ship peoples outside Earth, trying to save them all. And they find something orbiting around Mars, something that is moving toward the sun. So it looks like something really huge with many POVs, with a very large scope. And if you see the covers of the books, you kind of spoil yourself, because you see that the books move from that kind of techno-thriller setting to kind of a space opera, which is my jam, of course. So I'm pretty eager to see how the books evolve, how that story translates into different kind of subgenres. So yeah, this is one that I'm listening right now. The narration is very good. It is very fast-paced, very enjoyable, and I will absolutely give you a review as soon as I finish it. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for being here to the end of the video. If you want to see more, remember to subscribe, leave a like, share. If you enjoy science fiction and fantasy books, this is the perfect place for you. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you want, you can follow me on Instagram too, and on X, when I am even more active, when you can see what I'm reading day by day, what I'm listening day by day, and you can interact with me in my DMs. They're always open. Thank you for being here. If you want to see more, you have more videos right here, right now. Thank you again. See you on the next one. Bye.